Well, Lucy, Schroeder and Linus are on hand to say, "You're a good man, Charlie Brown," when he suffers a personality crisis, over on BBC2 tomorrow morning at 10:35.
Heidi High will be one of the programmes discussed in Did You See tomorrow afternoon at 4:55 on BBC2. Paul Daniels' Magic Christmas show is just a wave of a wand away in some 40 minutes after BBC1 has dropped by at Bob Monkhouse's Christmas Full House.
Christmas on BBC1. In Last of the Summer Wine, Seymour, Compo and Clegg and the problems of public speaking.
All you have to do is handle the loudspeaker.
I'm not doing it! I'm not doing it.
Off you go then, across the fields.
Do you mean I'm going to walk in these?
Well, that's the whole idea. A public address system that'll really get to the people. It can follow them if it has to.
Last of the Summer Wine, tomorrow at 7:15 on BBC1.
Here on One Now, a new adventure for Jim Bergerac as he attempts to restore peace and quiet to the island of Jersey when an old adversary arrives for a bit of illegal treasure hunting. This new series of Bergerac continues next Saturday here on BBC1 at 8:15. A famous J.B. Priestley comedy is starting on BBC2 in about 4 minutes with Patricia Routledge and Peter Vaughan, Prunella Scales and Timothy West, Rosemary Leach and Bernard Cribbins as the three couples starring in When We Are Married. Here on BBC1 in 15 minutes, there's Agatha Christie's Evil Under the Sun. That's after tonight's news and sport at just after 14 minutes to 10.
Labour's warning on the Gulf. We're in danger of being dragged into the conflict. The government says there's been no change of policy. Thousands of loyalists go to the funeral of the Protestant paramilitary leader killed by an IRA bomb. Liverpool celebrate Christmas in style. 3 goals and 10 points clear. And in the Gulf, Bob Hope celebrates his 84th Christmas, cracking some ancient jokes on an aircraft carrier.
Denling away in second place. France wins for King George. Desert Orchid is only second. Golden Friend is third. Bo Ranger is fourth.
The jubilant French collected the £50,000 prize and warned that Nook Sala would be back in March, challenging for the Cheltenham Gold Cup. And in West Wales, a big Boxing Day splash for some hardy amateur swimmers. More than 230 of them took the plunge at Tenby as part of a sponsored swim to raise money for local charities. Some chose to wear fancy dress, but there were real lifeguards on hand just in case. The organisers say it was the warmest day in the event's 17-year history.
The veteran comedian Bob Hope has been spending Christmas in the way he likes best, entertaining the troops. Bob, who's 84, took some younger performers with him on board the USS Okinawa on duty in the Gulf. He's been travelling the world entertaining American servicemen in the danger zone since 1941. As usual, his repertoire included many popular service jokes, and he showed his political gags have lost none of their bite.
And as you all know, Gary Hart threw his hat in the ring again. I guess he finally remembered where he left it. But I love this place. I had an uncle who was a Marine hero, by the way, Rambo Hope. He had such a sharp crease in his pants when he walked, he shredded his socks.
And that's all from the newsroom this Boxing Day. Good night.
Hello, well, it wasn't very exciting, was it? But at least it was mild, and Belfast did see the sun briefly this afternoon. The story, as before, I'm afraid, and yet another low is forming on this front out here, and that's going to rush rather quickly northeastwards across the country, bringing yet more rain tomorrow, with yet more rain coming along from the west on Monday. But the mild southwesterly wind continuing for some time to come. That's the position at the moment. A few showers in the north, some rain still in the south, but as we go through the night, yet more rain coming up from the southwest. perhaps just a touch of ground frost in some northern glens by the morning. And that's the position we expect to see in the morning, with rain pushing northeastwards across most parts of the country as we go through the day. Again, the light is probably in the southeast, and then during the afternoon, brighter weather following that rain from the west to all but the southeast of England. The southeast of England staying dull with rain or drizzle at times, and a fair number of showers developing in the north. Quite a windy day too. You can see 15 to 20 miles an hour from the south or southwest, but a mild day, 11 is 52 Fahrenheit. There's a summary of that. It says rain at times. Good night.
I like BBC's documentaries.
Well, soap operas, Dynasty, EastEnders.
BBC One Service.
Radio 4.
I like the news.
Any sport, any football.
Whatever your views on the BBC, see for yourself how this year's licence fee was spent. Next Sunday at 8 o'clock on BBC1.
At 5 to 12 tonight, Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie promises something which is beautifully simple and simply beautiful and, quite obviously, something for everyone. First, Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot must resolve her murder mystery on a spectacular island of the Adriatic where there's evil under the sun. Hercule Poirot returns in the person of Albert Finney on New Year's Eve to solve the mystery of murder on the Orient Express, the world's most famous train, which that night carries a passenger list which includes Lauren Bacall, Ingrid Bergman, Sean Connery and John Gielgud. Departure time, 8:45 on New Year's Eve.
Christmas on BBC1. A live television show is the setting for a murder and a new case for Perry Mason.
Perry, I know you believe that no matter what the circumstances, a person is entitled to the best possible legal defense.
Can you explain how a round of live ammunition got into the gun?
No, I can't.
Why should we believe this story of yours?
But the case is not as clear-cut as it first appears.
If you were going to kill someone, Mr. Reston, would you do it in front of 40 million people?
Perry Mason takes on the case of the shooting star tomorrow at 8:35 on BBC1.
In just over half an hour, Michael Redgrave and Googie Withers star in our movie classic Dead of Night, the famous piece of British movie-making, which includes that ventriloquist sequence among its stories of comedy, murder, horror, and the unknown. Before that, here's some natural-tasting comedy that's easy on the hands and kind to the stomach. Sounds like a bit of Fry and Laurie to me.